Are you at True Life Studios?
Basically, I just want you to share your testimony. Not like you don't have to go super into detail, but just just give me some stories or just explain to me what pushed you to get closer to God.
But yeah, so growing up, I never I grew up in a church, and kind of when I got to high school and realized
What church did you go to growing up?
it was called the Woods Church of the Nazarene, Christian church.
Mm-hmm.
And so and even coming back today, that's all I knew. So I never looked into any other denominations. At the end of the day, I've kind of learned as long as you have a relationship with God and Jesus and believe what they did for you, then that's what it's based on, So seeing how Christianity has helped me understand that, and other things that I read and whatnot, I have learned to understand that's what it's really based on. So I kind of stuck with Christianity for real. But yeah, man, probably going on a year and a half right now. I ended up getting a new doctor and wanting to make sure everything was good with me. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Got tested for everything, and an STD popped up for real.
Oh,
and so going through life, I always knew sex was not something I should be practicing or whatnot, but it was always that's what I felt like I had to do to show a girl. You know what I'm saying? I'm interested. I'm here.
What you have? If you.
I mean, yeah. It was HIV for real.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was HIV, and so when it popped up, I didn't I got a call from the doctor, and he was like, "Hey, we need you to get retested." And so me not really understanding what he was saying, how it was all going, I was kind of yeah, no problem. What do I need to do? How can I control the situation and not have to deal with this in my life? And so he was like, well, you need to get retested. We got to make sure it's real or not. But, you might not be able to get rid of this. It might be a lifelong thing. And so, as soon as I heard that and kind of dealt with that or whatnot, it hit me or I went to my doctors to go get retested. And they were like, no, you got to go to the hospital. So at that point, I was like, oh, this is real life. This is actually a life-changing thing. This is, and as soon as I got in my car, I kind of just broke down damn, maybe I'm not in control of this. Maybe something will actually, come from this or whatever it is and stuff. And so I went home, I confessed to my dad and just told him everything. He reminded me hey man, we got God, we can pray, we can trust in him. And through that whole week, you feel me, I'd be up in the studio hanging out, I'd be playing basketball, I'd be, just trying to distract myself. And I just couldn't stop thinking of, what the outcome could be, how
looking back at that whole situation, what did you learn from it?
Really that God is faithful, and he wants us, to me, I feel like he gives everybody a chance to know him, show people what's right and wrong. And unfortunately, I couldn't learn that lesson by myself. So he had to show me a more powerful way. I told people,
that God will help
if I ended up having a kid, I don't think I would have turned to God, because I want a kid. I want a family. Even if it was a girl that I wouldn't have wanted it to be the mom, I still would be hey, I'm having a kid, bro. And not turn to God. So I feel the way that this all happened, and the thing that's crazy is I prayed to get closer to God, and I prayed to help stop lusting.
Definitely.
And so he answered those prayers. Not in the way that I thought it was going to be. I thought it was just going to wake up one morning and not feel like that, not act like that.
Yeah.
And so looking at it full circle now, it was just this was that one moment that I needed to kind of make the decision for my life. What do I want to, you know what I'm saying, care about? And
yeah, on my journey getting closer to God, I think I have I don't know, it's God will really, you will want something, and God will know you'll want something, but you're not gonna get it until you ready for it.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're
And
not
so-
gonna get it. And then anything he give you, he'll take right.
Easy if you you feel me? If you over glorify it, if you like praise it, you know. Because the thing was too is like I said, that whole week I didn't know, like I couldn't stop thinking like, what if I gotta call a girl? What if I gotta, you know, sit here and explain? What if I tell my boys and they laugh and like just a whole bunch of like the enemy trying to fuck with me, you know.
Yeah. Definitely.
And so realistically, when what is it? When I went and retested and they called me back, or like I went online and looked at the results of my dad or whatnot. As soon as I got done reading it, you feel me? Like realistically, I felt like my dad struck on my knees. Like, God, why? You know, like why would you bring me through that? Like, in the sense, like mad. You feel me? Like why? And like now today, a year and a half later, I understand. You know, it came back negative and everything, and like I praise God for it. But like I understand why I had to go through it. But like realistically, CC, I like accepted it. You know, like if this is my outcome, then thank you, God, for. You know what I'm saying? Helping me get over this. As frustrated
it's a
as
lot
I
of stuff
was,
that
you know.
it's a lot of stuff that you go through in life that's like your lowest.
Yeah.
But it always teaches you something.
And it's crazy that God can use the worst thing, the lowest thing in your
to
life
teach you
for
something.
something good. Like now I can talk about this. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not proud about it. I'm not. You know, at the time, don't get me wrong. Like it was fun to talk about. It was, hey man, guess what happened? Look at this, whatever it is and stuff. But like now it's just like. Oh man, I didn't treat these women right at all. I'm, you feel me?
Yeah, and I didn't know that, and I kind of felt that vibe that he was ready to like talk about it. So
yeah. This year was a big year for real, as far as just like learning. Like to me, like I said, like I believe it's more than just living to die. You know, like I do feel like at some point we are going to have to answer for what we've done, what we did, how we thought, whatever it is. And like I tell people, even if like it's not, there isn't anything, and we do just, it's like what, I was respectful to you, I cared for people, I loved people, I supported people. It's like, is that the worst that it could be? Okay, and like, but think about how good it could be.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
and like
exactly.
that's what kind of hits me in life, like. And so I talk with people all the time, like I'm not one to like, force it or like, oh man, guess what I learned today? But it's like, I'm not ashamed to say like, I believe in Jesus Christ and what he did.
And that's what I was telling Donnie and Darius earlier. It's like I told them like I don't have all the answers, but all I know is I believe in Jesus, and I believe that God has purpose for all of us, and we all here for a reason. So I'm here telling you that because it's just my duty. I feel like I gotta tell you that we all here for a reason, even if you don't believe or whatever you believe. Yeah, we all here for a good reason.
100%. And that's what I told people when it first happened. I was like, look, bro, like, whether you accept it or not, whether you believe it or not, you know what I'm saying? Like, I hope to see you in heaven. So if I gotta sit here and like, explain, like, hey, this is what I went through last year, and like, this is why I acted the way I did, this is why I thought the way I did, like, then I'm not gonna sit here and overthink it. Like, oh man, if that's what I gotta do to open that door for them, like, and like realistically, see, I know one of my buddies that has actually started coming to church, started coming to me with the young adults group, and like just seeing it happen firsthand, you feel me, like God work like that, it's just like, oh man, this is kind of cool. And like all I did was just say like, hey, this is what I went through, you're going through a messed up situation in your life, it could just give you hope, and like now seeing it like
and what I learned is faith can get you a long way.
Oh yeah, and we have faith. Everybody has faith.
Yeah.
It's just like, what is it? In the sense you drive every single day, you have faith. No one's gonna cross that yellow line and hit you.
Yeah.
So it's like whether you realize it, whether you rely on it or not, whether you tap into it or not. It's like it says in the Bible. You feel me? It's faith the size of a mustard seed can grow to the biggest garden in the plant or
Right,
plant in
yeah,
the garden, you know. And it's
exactly.
just like all I did for my friend is just plant it. Whether it grew or not was up to him watering it, being curious, looking into it, and now he's got answers and everything like that. So
Yeah, and
Are you at True Life Studios?